Every time the man forges a sword, he always brings a pigeon to test it. As long as the pigeon can lose all its flesh without dying, then the sword is considered a success. And the man's identity is not simple, because he is the legendary #1 swordsmith. The swords he forges can each be sold for hundreds of millions of dollars, and some people are even willing to kneel at his door for 3 days just to obtain one of his swords. But at the peak of his sword forging career, he disappeared from the public eye, choosing to hide his true identity and become an apprentice in an ordinary craftsman's shop. And the reason he did this was simply because he discovered that the shop owner was the son of his own master. In order to pass on his master's sword forging skills to him, he chose to work here. On this day, to complete the city lord's order, the shopkeeper urgently looked for an assistant swordsmith. Several apprentices heard that this matter was very important and that it might even affect their own safety, so they were too afraid to go. When they saw the man nearby, it was as if they had an idea, and they immediately pushed him forward. Looking at the strong man before her, the shopkeeper's daughter agreed with the apprentice's recommendation and brought him to her father, planning to let him give it a try. But when the eldest apprentice saw the man, he disdainfully told the woman that he was just a newcomer he had recruited and that he didn't know forging at all. But the shopkeeper noticed the man's strong body, which was very suitable for forging, so he ignored everyone's objections and kept the man. He even told the man to choose a suitable forging hammer himself. The shopkeeper's daughter, seeing it was his first time forging, recommended that he choose a 10-pound hammer, but the man directly walked over to the largest hammer. The shopkeeper's daughter wanted to remind him to change it, because this hammer was made from meteorite iron and weighed as much as 1,000 pounds. The eldest apprentice beside him also spoke up to remind him, saying bluntly that many people, because of trying this hammer, had suffered serious injuries. But the man was very stubborn, wanting to pick up that giant hammer. Just as everyone thought the man would get hurt, he very easily picked up the hammer and even played with it in front of everyone. Just as everyone thought the man was going to use this hammer, he put the hammer down. The crowd couldn't help but laugh at him, saying he must have used up all his strength and couldn't lift any other hammer. But the next second, the man easily picked up a 500-pound meteorite hammer beside him. The shopkeeper's daughter thought the man was pretending to hold on, so she wanted to persuade him to switch back to the 10-pound hammer. But the man was very stubborn, holding the 500-pound hammer, and began his forging. The 500-pound hammer struck again and again on the inferior steel. Just as everyone thought the man couldn't last more than 10 strikes, he struck a full 100 times, and later on, he was even able to make one strike produce the effect of 2. The shopkeeper was immediately shocked, start to doubt the man's identity. But the inferior steel in his daughter's hands at this moment appeared with many cracks. The eldest apprentice